Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank the Honourable Member for the question raised this morning. Again, let me assure the House and, of course, every Fijian that we are transitioning now from the humanitarian and relief side of operations into the recovery and long-term rehabilitation. This is, of course, a lengthy process, particularly the latter part of it, which is the recovery and the long-term rehabilitation. On housing, for those people that are still living in temporary shelters, Madam Speaker, there are two initiatives in place. One has been announced by the Honourable Prime Minister on the 9th of April, that is on the Help for Homes initiative. What is the Help for Homes initiative, Madam Speaker? This is based on the request made by most of our people, particularly Fijians in rural, remote areas, who have the will to do their own housing reconstruction without waiting for too long for government. And government has provided them with some incentives as announced by the Honourable Prime Minister on the 9th of April. And the Homes for Help for Homes initiative, Madam Speaker, there is an interagency committee headed by the Honourable Minister for Women, Social Welfare and Poverty Alleviation, simply because most of the people that are applying fall within that category, and most importantly, they already have the facilities, particularly with the use of electronic cards for payment purposes, already with the suppliers, and that is why that interagency committee is headed by the Honourable Minister for Women, Social Welfare and Poverty Alleviation on the Help for Homes initiative. There are some people who are still waiting for government assistance, and that will come as part of the housing rehabilitation plan, like any other previous disasters. At this stage, Madam Speaker, we are waiting for the final post-disaster needs assessment report provided by the World Bank, ADB, and most of the leading agencies, including the United Nations resident office in here. Hopefully by mid this week, we will have that report, and that will form the basis in which we will draft the recovery and reconstruction plan, and the housing rehabilitation will be part of that, together with the allocation of resources and timeline. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary question, the Honourable Samuel.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. After the tropical cyclone Winston, there were a lot of trees that were affected. Some were blown down by the cyclone. My question is, what is the ministry doing for the benefit of the rural community in regards to the big trees? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank the Honourable Member for the question. It's probably one of the other initiatives that I failed to mention in my response. But however, during calamities, disasters, there are what we call opportunities within the adversity. And I think this is one of the key ones out of this disaster. A lot of our people have their own native timber within their land, Matangali land, and of course there are private wood lots as well, particularly in the remote rural communities. Ministry of Forestry was tasked by the National Disaster Controller to ascertain the volume of trees, fallen trees within these respective regions, Madam Speaker, particularly those that were affected. And I am pleased to say, Madam Speaker, that most of these fallen trees has been utilized again for the benefit of the Winston victims, particularly in assisting in their housing reconstruction. As we speak, The Minister for Fisheries and Forests has allocated chainsaws to most of these communities. There are quite a number of Fijians who have been trained in reaping timber for construction purposes. They have started with this. They are just reaping the fallen trees within their areas so that they can utilize it for their buildings reconstruction. And the other initiative, Madam Speaker, is the use of portable sawmills. As we speak, there is one in Koro Island that was shipped across to Koro on the second week post-Winston. And the latest report that I got from Forestry, the Permanent Secretary, 2 weeks ago, is that they have prepared about 15 to 18 house frames already from these fallen trees. So all that we will need to do now is find the other materials for that purposes. And of course, people of Namukandra in Rad, and of course Dausamu is also using one. And I've just checked also with the Minister for Forests. I've been advised that they are getting an additional 4 portable sawmills this week, and this again will be delivered to the communities based on the need and of course the volume of fallen trees within these areas. So it's a good opportunity for us to utilize what would have been waste for the benefit of the victims, and most importantly in their housing reconstruction. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary question, the Honorable Kiliraki.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Whilst we commend the initiative of those affected to proceed with the building of houses and for the utilization of their fallen trees, may I ask the Honourable Minister, what is the guarantee of the resilience of these structures in terms of the climate phenomenon that we are experiencing, the strength and the quality of the materials, whether there's any guarantee in terms of any calamity that may rise again. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Probably during the week I will issue ministerial statements to that effect, but for the purpose of answering the question raised by the Honourable Member, definitely one of the principles of recovery is building back better and stronger, and of course raising the level of resilience and reducing vulnerability that is taken into consideration, Madam Speaker. And honourable members of the House would be aware that there has been discussions and probably some documents or a bill to that effect will later come into Parliament about building codes and building standards for rural Fiji as well. And of course included in that is the quality of building materials itself. There has been some interesting assessment and analysis made by the Fiji Institute of Engineers that will help us, the government particularly, in preparing for future disasters, particularly building back better and stronger, reducing vulnerabilities and raising resilience at all levels. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I give the floor to the Honorable Sauraran Rondro.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, the Honourable Minister, for that, for the response. If the Honourable Minister can give us some kind of time frame, bearing in mind people are still living in tents, it's very depressing, and particularly the bad weather is still with us. So for the benefit of those that have been affected, can we be given some kind of time frame? Is it 6 months? Or what kind of other alternative shelter that could be given to them? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I don't have a time frame in response to the question. I have stated Reconstruction is a lengthy process. It takes years. Even Christchurch is still in the recovery process. They have not concluded with their recovery process. Even in Japan, reconstruction is a long-term process. What will determine the time frame? It's the resources, Madam Speaker. And I am Minister responsible for disaster and recovery. I don't determine the resources. But again, that is something that government will take into consideration based on the post-disaster needs assessment, evidence-based, priority areas, what resources are available. That will determine the time frame. Thank you, Madam Speaker.